Here we have the T-34-3, one of my favorite tanks in World of Tanks Modern Armor, with going 56 kilometers an hour, 1300 hit points, in great turret armor. Reverse speed is 20 kilometers, gun depression is 5, great, pretty decent silver earn rate. The silver earn rate is 156%, and it's just a really good tank. It does lack whole armor and obviously degrees, like I said, because it is not good for ridgelines, but you can still use your turret armor to your advantage. Has a great gun, 122 millimeters, with an 11-second reload, 2071 DPM. I love this tank because of how mobile it is, and how great the DPM is. The gun has great pen, especially with premiums. The pen is 196 premiums, 250, and HE 61. So just a great tank. I would recommend running improved concealment, improved ventilation, binoculars, and gun rammer. These are very great perks for this tank to give it good concealment. And it is just a great tank. What I would add for the commander is Born Leader, Fire Safety Training, Green Thumb, Camouflage Expertise, Radio Jamming, and Comms Expert. Also, I would say it has a pretty decent hull rotation. I think it's quite fast, so dudes may think it's kind of sluggish, but it has pretty good terrain, mobility, roads, it goes pretty fast. Just a great tank in my opinion. You should really think about buying it if it's on sale or in the shop. I love this tank very much. And I think this gun pens a lot of the time. I usually don't bounce very often, but it can lack sometimes if you're not playing it right. Angle armor, it cannot do anything against, especially if it's like a heavy tank. But I feel like that's with a lot of tanks, probably most tanks anyways. But as you can see in the match, I'm playing it kind of like a heavy tank, staying behind other tanks, so more like a medium anyways. But you want to be usually behind other tanks with decent armor, because you really can't fight like a heavy tank. It's not built like that. It's a medium tank. So what you want to do is it's great in city maps, actually. Probably the best that it can be in city maps. But also with the perks and equipment, it is not bad on sniping maps. I love this tank overall with its just great everything, in my opinion. Like I said, the turret armor is great, but you cannot work ridge lines because of that terrible gun depression. It's a Russian tank, and most Russian tanks in this game do not have good gun depression. And because you have firefighter training on your commander, which you should have on your commander if you're running this tank, you should be using snacks to reduce that reload as much as possible. Because the reload is pretty long and it can mess you up sometimes, but if you're running snacks, you can really reduce that reload. And I think that's one of the main things it really lacks in, is reload. Just like the Alpine Tiger, which has the same gun. Its reload isn't great. They have the same reload. It's obviously can't pen red armor, just like this Night Stalker right here. I cannot pen that because it just has too good of armor. But you can pen most mediums. I forgot to talk about the preferential matchmaking. You can only play up to tier 9s, which is great for this tank. I feel like if it was with tier 10s, it wouldn't do great, but it would still be able to hold its own. It feels like you're playing a tier 9 when you're playing this tank with how good it is. Obviously, you want to have some sort of camouflage on it, so you can get that camouflage factor up. Still concealment. Vision range is very good if you use the equipment I talked about. So it is just a very good tank overall. You can really pull off some crazy shots with this tank, just like I did there. But you really cannot play this tank like a heavy. It has to play it like a medium. I wouldn't run any HEs at all. That's just me for this tank because of how I just don't use HEs. I use 25 armor piercing and 15 premiums. But that's just me. You can do whatever you want. And if you're not on a city map, I would say late game you should get up and close and try and kill people. But early game, I would try and snipe for a little bit just to see what you can do depending on the map. I will say reversing speed is so terrible. You cannot escape battles with that reversing speed. It is very hard. I usually turn around or get into cover, then turn your old tank around and drive forward. But obviously, like I said, it has great penetration. Right here, I penned this heavy tank very easily. I did not even have to zoom in. I think I might have got a lucky shot, but I don't know. And like I said, this reload really sucks, but right here, I killed a heavy tank, and it's just a great tank. I won the match. I just love this tank. That's it.